Hey guys, this is SlickNickGaming and welcome back to SlickNickGaming Remasters LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Last time, we finished up the main story mode with Return of the Jedi. We finished the last two levels. And this time, we are going to be starting with the bonus content. There are 6 bonus levels in this game. And they are only unlockable if you get a certain number of gold bricks. Like, for example, you can see this one here requires 50 gold bricks, and we only have 38. But all the other doors are accessible because they have the right number of pieces. They have the number of pieces that we need to build them. So let's go ahead and build the first one here. And we're going to be doing the original version of the pod race, which is a lot harder than the new one. Just saying, it is definitely harder than the new than the version that they made for Complete Saga. This is actually the first of 2 remakes of the original levels. The other one being Gunship Cavalry, which is my least favorite level in the entire game. And because of that, I am not covering it in this. Just because I tried it in a failed recording, and no matter what I did, I just could not get it right. Now, you may notice right away that there's a little something wrong. Not with the game, but something on my end. I originally recorded this with no commentary because at the time I was very sick and I didn't want to wear out my voice too much. My voice already sounded pretty bad. And to be honest, I'm still recuperating from it. Even though it's been a few days. It has been a few days, but I'm still not 100% better. I recorded this when I was really sick because, honestly, I really felt like playing it and I really wanted to get the game done. So because of this, I turned the commentary off and now I'm recording a little bit of post-com for you guys. This is not something I do very often. So you can see here that I forgot the controls at the beginning. Because now I remember why I had such a hard time with the pod race during the main story. Is because the controls were actually different in the new pod race. And you can see I'm already struggling there. Just letting you know, most of this episode is basically just going to be a fail montage of me constantly failing to meet the checkpoints. And because this is the original format, you'll see a timer at the front. That basically gives you your time limit on how fast you need to make it through each checkpoint. Now, when I played the original LEGO Star Wars, I hated the pod race. Well, I mean, there are more checkpoints in this version, but also, I hated it because, as you'll see here, every time you go through a cutscene, you'll get in... Every time you go through a checkpoint, occasionally, you'll get interrupted with a cutscene. Every time you don't pass the checkpoint, every time you fail, you go through that section again. And also, it triggers the same cutscene over and over again. And I just barely didn't make it there. After barely making it through the first time. But I'm actually recording this post-commentary on a day where my voice is actually a little better, but not 100%. It's not really... Well, I developed a cold recently. I developed a cold over the weekend. Wow, I just barely made it again. But I developed a cold over the past weekend, and it started feeling really bad when I went to see Weird Al. In case you missed it, I went to see Weird Al on July 18th at TD Garden. It was an awesome show. And I just barely made it again. And I slammed right into 2 rocks right as I start. Already a bad sign. But yeah, I went to see Weird Al and I really wasn't feeling well during the concert. And it turns out when I got home, took my temperature, and it was just below 100. And not only that, but, I mean, I felt congested. There was stuff running down the back of my throat, and I was coughing a bit. And it only got worse. And, but now it's hopefully going to start getting better. I mean, this is one of the worst times to get sick. Because this is one of the worst times to get sick. And you're going to see in just a minute what I was pointing out earlier. You're going to see in just a minute what exactly I was pointing out earlier. See? You go through the segment again, and it repeats the cutscene. This is why I hated the original version of the pod race when I played that game a few years ago. Whee! But yeah, I started not feeling well on Saturday, and then it just continued to get worse. And now here I am a few days later, and I'm actually well enough to record a post-commentary. There's also 2 more episodes after this with no commentary on them that I'm going to be putting post-com over. This is me trying and failing miserably at the pod race. Am I gonna make it? Yup, I just barely made it again. Yeah, that's the thing. Because I was sick, I don't really remember a lot of the things I recorded. Alright, am I gonna make it? Almost there. Wow, I did it! Now I'm on the 3rd lap. And I died again. Wow. Man, I was sucking at the pod race. Yeah, I'm still not exactly feeling 100%. But I am well enough to record a post-com, so here we are. 5, 4, 3. Am I gonna make it? I don't think so. Nope. Now there's some point a little bit further up where I actually... This is probably the point where I struggled the most. This point here. Yep, this is definitely the point where I struggled. I seem to remember this taking like 5 or 6 tries to get through this one segment. But back to Gunship Cavalry. The original Gunship Cavalry is in this. Gunship Cavalry is the other level that they changed pretty severely in this. Gunship Cavalry is a completely different level in LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga. So, it's not so bad in the Complete Saga, but the original version of Gunship Cavalry is just probably the hardest level in LEGO Star Wars. I know it's definitely the hardest level in Complete Saga, and it was the hardest level in the original game. Not to say this level's hard, this was very hard. Oh great, there's a fly next to me. I wonder what it's doing. Yeah, so this is the pod race. I'm not sure what else to say. There is one more level I'm going to be doing after this. And I crashed into the wall again. Man, I am really sucking at this. Or should I say, I was really sucking at the pod race, because this was recorded a few days ago. Here's the thing. The reason why this episode had no commentary recorded alongside it is because even though I was sick and I didn't want to record my voice, I really wanted to finish the game. Like, I really wanted to finish it. Just because I loved the game and I was getting a real itching to finish it. Like, I was really in the mood to go back and finish it, so yeah, that's why I recorded these episodes with no commentary originally. There's 2 more episodes after this with no commentary. That I'm gonna be putting post-com over that, too. Am I gonna make it this time? I seem to remember somewhere closer to here. Nope, that's not it. There's, at some point during the race, when I was doing this segment, I got pushed back by another pod right before the checkpoint line. And I was so furious that I almost knocked the tray table over. There's a tray table next to my desk with some other things on it. It's the tray table that I use to put the amiibo on when I do Nick's Amiibo League. So I don't have to get up and go over to the shelf and pick them up. And I almost knocked it over when that happened. In fact, I think it's going to happen right here. Yup. I got so mad when I did that I knocked my Wii Remote against my desk and the battery cap came off. I'm impressed the Wii Remote was still able to run after that, because the battery cap came off and the batteries were just barely still in. Oh wait, no, it was Gunship Cavalry. I actually did try to do the original Gunship Cavalry in a failed recording. And it was during that failed recording that I actually flipped the tray table over, just because I finally had enough. Because on the Gunship Cavalry level, I mean, it's not as bad in the complete Saga version, but the original version, every time you die, you get sent back to a checkpoint. And there's a lot of space between the checkpoints. Whereas in the new version, it's just like any other vehicle level. Wow, I just ran right into a boulder. Nice job, Nick. Way to go. I seem to remember struggling at this point, too. Yeah, it was always the 3rd lap that I struggled on, and I know I'm definitely not alone in that. I always struggled on the 3rd lap. It seems the pod race is just as bad in this game as it was in the movie. And I didn't make it. I think the goal is actually to beat Sebulba into that last thing. And I tried to get around... I tried to boost around the boulder there, but I couldn't get it. So now I'm gonna try going right through the boulders without hitting any of the boosts. Go right in between those boulders. I don't know how I was able to pull off that boost the first time without getting hit. I still don't know. Anyways, are we gonna make it here? Oh, wow! Just barely made it. Alright, we should be almost done here. This is the last segment of the race. Now, in the complete Saga version, those mines were not there. Get out of here! Get out of here, fly. You're messing with my equipment. And I get caught behind another pod again. And I didn't make it. I missed it again. Great job, Nick. Great job, pass, Nick. Wow, it's taken us 15 minutes just to do the first pod race. Just to do the first mission. Am I gonna make it this time? Oh, I passed him, but I couldn't get to the finish on time. That's probably the closest I've ever gotten so far to beating it. Alright, finally did it. Wow, as I was saying, that took like 15 minutes to do. And the cutscene is also different in this game, I think. Because I didn't see C-3PO there. Here we go, fix the hyperdrive. And then we drive right into the wall. We drive right into this. We fly right into the side of the cliff. Alright, now on to the second level, which is yet another vehicle level. I'm pretty sure this is Anakin's flight, which is a new mission to this game. This was not a bonus level in the other two games. This was a brand new mission that was designed just for this game. Yoda, anytime now? Alright. Yoda's easily the slowest character in the game, but when he has his lightsaber out, even when he has his lightsaber out, he goes a little slower than most characters. But when he doesn't have a lightsaber, his speed is an absolute joke. Anyways, let's move on. We have Anakin's flight, which I believe was designed just for this game. I remember when I did this game originally, I seem to remember having kind of a hard time with this. In fact, in both LPs that I did in this game originally, I did do the bonus levels, but I do remember having a hard time with Gunship Cavalry, even. But I must have beaten them, or else I wouldn't have finished the LP. I must have beaten them. So yeah, Anakin's flight. This is based on, this is supposed to be from the Phantom Menace. This is based on the sequence in the Phantom Menace where Anakin boards one of the rebel ships, and where he boards one of the Republic ships and uses it to blow up the droid control ship. And you can tell I was struggling here. It didn't help that I was already in a pretty bad mood because it was the middle of summer and I couldn't believe that I had gotten sick at one of the worst times of the year to get sick. If you love summer like I do, this is one of the worst times of the year to get sick. Especially when you got so much going on. Like spending time outside with friends and family, just hanging out, having fun. Enjoying your time with your friends before they have to leave again. Alright, on to the second part of the mission. Yeah, I'm still feeling a little under the weather. Not 100%, but well enough to record this commentary at least. And in case you're wondering, no, I do not have COVID. I tested negative twice. I took 2 tests and they both came out negative. I'm impressed, actually. I haven't had COVID in over a year. I had COVID 3 times. I've actually had COVID 3 times. I had it once. I had it during my senior year of high school. In fact, it was... Wait, what? How did I not destroy the target there? But yeah, I had COVID right at the end of my senior year. I almost missed the prom. And graduation. But, good news is, I got well. 2 weeks before the end of the school year, I was given the all clear. But that would not be my last time dealing with COVID. During my second year college, right after Thanksgiving, the day that I was supposed to go back to my boarding school, for the Christmas semester, I got sick with COVID, like that Thanksgiving weekend. And I didn't find out until the day I was supposed to leave. And that was a real bummer, just to say the least. But I did get an extra week off of school then, so at least there was that. There's a torpedo right there. Probably the real highlight of that time when I was sick was on that Wednesday, November 29th, all of us learned about the long overdue death of Henry Kissinger. And let's just say that definitely made me feel a lot better, because I was feeling a little depressed about not being with my friends and being cooped up in my house all the time. But hearing that news made all of that shit go away. I mean, come on. It's Henry fucking Kissinger. One of the biggest scumbags to ever walk the earth. That's the reason why I had that stream back at the end of November, was to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of his demise. And that's why I'm probably going to be having a 3rd anniversary stream this coming November. But I don't know about that yet. I mean, it's only August, so I don't know if that's going to be happening yet. Even though I'm recording this at the end of July. This summer went by a lot faster than I thought it would. And something really cool about this level is the further you go away, the sound effects will be more and more quiet. The further you are away from the front. Here's me trying desperately to blow up all the enemy ships so they don't interfere. And the last thing you have to do is you have to blow up all those dots in the middle in order to complete the mission. Oh, there's only 1 minute left. Wow, I've been talking up a storm for the last 25 minutes doing this postcom. And you know what the best part is? I still have another hour's worth of postcom to record. But I don't think I'm going to do it today because I'm still not feeling 100%. Alright, we did it! We blew up the main reactor and now the droid control planet is officially done. And Anakin just yelled out, "Oopsie!" Alright, that's 2 bonus levels down out of the 5 we're going to be covering. There's 6 bonus levels in this game, but I've already decided, after trying for quite a while, that I was not going to cover the gunship cavalry mission. Anyways, we have just a few seconds left here, so I want to say thank you for being very patient with me, and thank you for listening to this postcom over this episode of LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga, the SlickNickGaming Remaster. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching.